Welcome to Living Better Now, where we celebrate the resilience of people even in the most challenging times. With me today is Christina Thomas, a LinkedIn connection who inspires me every time she posts. Welcome, Christina.
Thank you for having me.
I am so glad that you're here. You're an entrepreneur, you're a realtor and a lawyer,
Yes.
but what I see you doing most often is helping to move people out of their comfort zone so that they can achieve their dreams and live their purpose. That's why I knew I had to talk to you today on Living Better Now.
Yes.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad to be here.
Oh, I knew you got stuff to say. You have so much good stuff to say all the time. And, I was
Uh,
sharing with you, Christina, that when you speak and you make these videos on LinkedIn and you also post and such, but I find myself writing down the things that you say because they are so meaningful and they're so impactful in our lives that I want those words to stay with me. So we're going to capture a little bit of video on that today so that those words can
yes.
stay with us that way too. So thank you so much.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm excited.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to ask you just right off the bat, we're going to get to know you a little bit. And through this question, we're going to get to know you a little bit. So tell me, Christina, what has been the biggest change to your life? That's it.
So the biggest change would be twofold. It would be the birth of my first child and leaving my job, because those things happen pretty simultaneously. I left my job when my child was going on 10 months. So yeah, that was the biggest shift. That was the biggest change. That was the time that I really had to utilize my faith. And it really made it clear that I had been saying, I'm walking by faith, I trust. But sometimes we use those words in vain and don't really understand the true depths of what that means. And at that time, and actually during this time, because I've been out 4 years, this is the fourth year, I've seen what that really means.
Did your faith have to unfold at that time, or were you just relying on it from the beginning? Tell me about that growth period for you.
So what happened was I had always felt like it was I was always one of those people that no matter where I was, I'm like, it's got to be more than this. It's life. It seems to be more than this. There's more. There's more. And I just couldn't pinpoint what that more was. But I always felt like I was called to do more than what I was doing. And it was really, really, I guess, persistent in that job, because I had started getting comfortable. It's like, okay, well, I get a job out of school. I had been waiting for 6 months since I had graduated law school. And I finally got a job. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to work my way up to the top and I'm just going to, make all the money that I can. And that was what I was set on. And then, I just keep getting a knock at my door. I'm like, this isn't where you need to stay. Don't get too comfortable. I'm like, no, because I don't have a plan B. So until you give me that, I don't want to leave. But it just became so persistent and so loud that I just had to just go ahead and just do it. But my thing was, my thinking at that time was like, okay, God, you're telling me to leave something that was bringing in a consistent income stream. I have a new child, and we have a whole family, we have a house, we have bills, we have all this stuff that needs to be maintained. So you must be planning to give me a brilliant business idea that's just going to rain in money. So that's fine. I'll quit. And that was what I had leaned on. I wanted everything right here, right now. So that's what I was thinking. If you're telling me to move, we have things to do and things to take care of. So I'm sure that you're gonna do it. You didn't tell me yet, but I'm sure once I take this leap of faith, that's what's gonna happen. And I took it, and nope, I did not get it. So
That's funny.
So that's when the faith part really kicked in, because what I was acting on at first wasn't. It was what I believed should happen. So instead of saying, okay, God, I don't know where you're leading me and, where this is going or what's going, but it doesn't matter. I'm here and I'm going to follow you because I know that you would never let me down. That's not what I said. I know that you have to give me some money. So I know, there's going to be something and it's going to be a business idea. So I'm just putting ideas in God's, head, just saying, that's what I'm going to go with. So I took my own faith, stepped out on me, and then realized, uh-oh, I did that backwards.
Maybe it was a whole new beginning for you, a whole new way of life for you now, caring for a child. This was your focus, so different. Very growth, oriented here as far as
Yes.
Now you're looking at yourself from a different lens. What did you learn about yourself?
I learned that I placed a heavy emphasis on what other people thought. Yeah, thought said, that controlled a lot of my movements. And being in that position of where I didn't have a job, nor did I have I didn't have a plan. So when people would ask, okay, so you quit your job, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. It just sounded crazy. People like, that was stupid. So that, I would take in everything that people would say. And then I would start looking in the mirror at me like, oh, that was dumb. That didn't make any sense. And see, look at other people. They're excelling in their careers and this, that, and the other. You're being left behind. All this negativity. And I realized how negative I actually was. I thought because in every job that I've been in, people are like, oh, you're like sunshine. Every time you come in here, you never have a bad day. You're always so positive. But nobody knows what's really going on in your head. I'm not a person that you're going to be able to see what's going on. I don't carry it. I don't sit there and, I'm having a bad day. So now I'm going to have to make yours bad, or I'm going to come off on you. No. I leave that at the door. And then I pick it up as soon as I leave work and take it home. So that's what I would do. But I always thought, okay, people thought I was positive. I am a positive person. Yes, I'm very optimistic. When people would tell me about, their business ventures or what they want to do or, what they aim to do in life, I'm always one like, yeah, do it. You can do it. I know you can. Blah, blah, blah. But then when it came to me, I'm like, I don't know, Christina. I don't think you can. So I realized that about myself. It put me in some very uncomfortable positions and that's why I talk about that. It's just like when you're in, and I had to learn that when you face those obstacles and when you get really uncomfortable, that's not the time to sit there and shy away and just say, oh, I'm uncomfortable, so I think that's my cue to stop. No, it's your cue to lean in on that and keep going, because that's where the growth is. I've been so uncomfortable for 4 years, what I thought was going to be a couple months. But when you understand that and you lean in, and I was forced to do it, not necessarily. I could have gone back to a job, but being as I realized too that I was prideful, being as prideful as I was, I had already stepped out. I had posted pictures, Facebook pictures talking about my retirement, because I was thinking, oh, I'm about to lean into the money. so I'm about to take pictures. And I'm telling everybody that, I quit my job. So how does that look? A couple months later, I get another job. That I can't do that. So that's really what kept me from turning back and getting another job. It wasn't because, okay, well, God told me not to. At first, it was because what are people going to think? So
you were holding yourself accountable to what you posted.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, I cannot. I can never go back. So I just realized a lot of it at the beginning was revealing the shadows of me, the dark side, the things that I didn't realize I really needed to work on, because, you fly through your day, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're, maybe you're excelling in your career, you're doing things, you're graduating, whatever it is. Sometimes we get sidetracked and really not focusing on the inner work that we need to do. We're worried about the outer. Okay, we're doing good on the outer, but we're not taking care of what's inside. And I had neglected that for years. So this just gave me a time to really reflect on that. And I'm like, ooh, I'm peeling back these layers. I don't like them. So I'm like, oh my gosh, ew, I didn't know all this stuff was in here. So that's what it allowed me to do.
You talked about always asking why. It's not
Mhm.
about the what, it's about the why. And so you can peel back those layers when you do ask why at each turn. Why are you doing this? Why do you feel like that? And
Yep.
how then has it really impacted you in this change in your life and in the way that you're seeing yourself now and peeling back those layers? How has it helped you to live better now and going forward? Where do you see yourself going? And where do you see, are you living more in the present than
Yes.
seeing the future?
Before, I was very future oriented. It's just, we've talked before, but having a vision of what I was supposed to be doing at such an early age, that came in elementary/middle school. Like, I just knew that it was going to be, it was something, right? I didn't know exactly what career it was going to be, what path, but I knew it was something. And that, and what showed me that is this house that I've always seen since I was little. This one house, it's a huge house, but it had in-law suites in the back. So I knew that I was going to be able to take care of my parents. And I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. Now, I've always seen that house. And it's been confirmed through other people of just, oh, you're gonna do something big, And I'm like, well, what is it? What is the big thing? And that was never like revealed. So knowing that you're going to do something, you're going to have a huge impact. And of course, with the house, I'm like, okay, my focus is like, I'm going to have some money, obviously, because you can't have that big house and not have money to go with it. So that's where I solely focused on, was the money part. And I'm like, okay, so where's the money? And everything that I was doing, that's all I was focused on. Not, okay, I'm here. It doesn't necessarily match what I was thinking, or, I'm not seeing the dots connect, but that doesn't matter. This is temporary. This is just preparing me for what I'm supposed to be doing. This is a step in the ladder. That's not how I was thinking. It's like, okay, I'm doing janitorial work. Where's the money? Like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to own my own, janitorial service. Or, I'm doing Mary Kay. Well, maybe I'm supposed to have that Cadillac, and then I'll just build. So it's like everything that I was in, I took it as like, oh, I have to be, I have to make something of this thing. And not in everything that you do, you don't necessarily have to do that, right? It's not where you take it and you're just running with it. There may be things that you just need to pick up along the way, but that's not necessarily your focus. So everything that I got in, just like I mentioned my last job, what did I say? Oh, well, I'm just going to work my way up to the top. And and it's like, no, that was only a season. It's not going to be your life. So I was taking everything and just trying to make it fit my mold and making sure I knew how to connect the dots, and that would make me feel more comfortable. That was how I was. And now I can be placed in positions like, okay, this isn't matching up, just like I said, but it's all right, because I know that there's something to gain in here, and I'm excited for what I'm going to gain. Not necessarily trying to hurry up and get to the money, not necessarily trying to do, whatever it is. I'm not afraid of starting small. And that was a fear of mine before. Just like, I don't want to start small. I'm not supposed to be, it's not matching up. If I start small, then how long is it going to take? I don't have all this time to wait. and just, but it was like rushing. And then now knowing that everything is a process, everything, it's a journey, and understanding that you can find joy in the journey, even if you have not reached your destination. If we're traveling to California, guess what? It doesn't mean that I'm sitting there like, I can't, I'm so tired of seeing all these, all this scenery. I just want to close my eyes until we get to California. That's when I'll be happy. No, you enjoy the trip. You may stop. You may get off. You may spend the night. You may see something that you want to visit. And that's the thing of life. It's a journey. So just enjoying the moments and being present. That's what I'm doing now. And that's been the biggest change of just realizing that.
So every step of the way matters in your growth. And what I can tell, and I could say just by seeing the things that you post, that you really are helping other people grow. So where you are right now, there's a big purpose for you, and where you're going to be tomorrow and the next day and next year, there's going to be other purpose for you too. And I really hope that we will. And I know that we're going to see you do big things, and you already are doing big things. Even if you impact one life, you're making such a difference. And you really do. The lessons that you teach are the lessons that you've learned by living, but being so observant about what it is that you're going through. Sometimes we can get so tied up and busy in the things that we're doing about the day that we're not paying attention to our why. Why am I feeling that way? Why is this happening? Why do I want this? And so your refocus is going to make all the difference in your life and in the lives of others as well. So thank you.
That why question.
Yeah.
That will get you somewhere.
Thank you for that. We want to see the Christina Thomas show, the Christina Thomas podcast, the Christina Thomas television show. We want to see it all, because I really think that you would be so perfect. We need you. We need Christina Thomas in our life. We need Christina Thomas in our everyday, just to help us learn more about ourselves.
Yes.
And journey on our way a little bit better, a little bit stronger too.
I'm for it.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Christina. Thank you for sharing a bit of your journey. And living in the present is really the biggest lesson. My biggest takeaway from our conversation, even right now, being able to live in the present and trusting that in your from your place of faith, that God has a purpose, and there's a season for everything that we do and a reason for everything that we do, and in time it'll all come to fulfillment. And in the meantime, you're making a difference, a big difference in the lives of everyone. So thank you so much for that.
Yes.
So tell me about your social medias. Where can we find Christina Thomas and all the good stuff that you share, all the good content you have?
LinkedIn. I mean, pretty much everything. I'm under Christina Thomas, Esquire. So ESQ. So that's something that you can type in and it'll bring you right to me. Sometimes it may be Christina Thomas dot or Christina Thomas comma, but either way, if you just type in Christina Thomas ESQ, you'll be able to find me. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. I just got a Twitter. So like literally last week.
I know on Twitter you have a hashtag Life Lessons with Tina. And Tina is a name that you've been called, or family and friends will call you. So hashtag Life Lessons with Tina.
Yes. And that's on LinkedIn as well. So it's just, a lot of people were telling me they weren't seeing my content. And things have changed. So, and I'm not familiar with the algorithms and all that other stuff. So I don't really worry about that. So I was like, well, look, you can follow this hashtag and you won't miss a thing.
That's good.
So that's where it came from.
That's good, because I know you have a lot of followers on LinkedIn. A lot of people like what you have. A lot of people share what you say. And as I mentioned, every word that you write carries weight. It's something that you want to keep with you as a life lesson. And I find myself, whenever I'm watching a video that you do, writing down the things that you're saying so that I can hold on to that. And so,
yes.
Yeah, so good stuff. And thank you so much. Thank you for being an entrepreneur of our heart and our mind too.
Yes,
yes,
those are connected. Just understanding how powerful your mind is and the belief. Oh my goodness. Once you understand, it takes you into a whole different world. It's like, oh, okay, I understand.